Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on FlossTube, but also on Instagram and Etsy. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing, the first one of the summer holidays. So I am delighted to be with you today. I'm delighted to have made it here today. I've got lots and lots of things to show you today, and they are all things that I haven't shown you at all or for a very long time, because I kind of sat down to my stitching this week and I was like, I don't really want to work on anything that I've been working on up until now. I just wanted lots and lots of new things, not necessarily brand new, but things I hadn't touched in a while. And I had lots of big plans. This week has been marked by my inability to understand just how much time I didn't have this week. I had all of these grand plans. I had grand plans of being able to show you lots of finished strawberries today. But I haven't. Well, I have got some finished strawberries to show you, but not the ones I was working on, because I have dug out some finished strawberries because I thought, do you know what? I am going to show you some finished strawberries. They're just not the ones that I was working on. So I think I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to show you what I've been stitching this week. I've also got a stitch from my mum that she's in the middle of stitching at the moment, which I think you'll really like to see. I've got some Stitchy kindness. I've got a little bit of haul. I went to basically a kind of Haberdashery sale today, so I've got a few bits and bobs from there as well. And I'm going to share with you a plan that I've got, which has been 5 years in the making. Well, actually, no, it's been 5 years in the procrastination. So I'll come to that at the end. So first of all, I wanted to show you some strawberries that I'd made previously, just to kind of whet your appetite for the things that I am planning on making very, very soon. So I had stitched these two strawberries previously. In fact, I think these were probably the first two strawberries that I had stitched. They are from the Blackbird. No, they're from a Prairie Schooler book of strawberries, but the strawberries don't exist in these colours. Now, let me just try and find the best light. I've moved down to the kitchen tonight because I am filming at night again. It has gone dark, and last week I just felt like I was looking out of a cave at you. Although the stitching looked great, I felt like I was in the back of a cave. So these are part of the Prairie Schooler booklet of strawberries. And these are the first couple that I made. And I had some sort of multicoloured purple threads on some purple fabric. And I had the idea of putting a bell inside. It didn't work well, folks. It didn't work well because I then padded the strawberry and deadened the sound of the bell. So I like the idea of a strawberry with a bell on, but I think the bell's going to have to be at the end. And then I made this little one. Now this little one does have a bit of dust on it still, heaven forbid. And this is a very small one as well, just in a kind of a brown fabric with, I remember this being a DMC thread, which goes from brown to purple to green. So they were my first strawberries, and I made them all as hanging strawberries. And they're okay, but they weren't necessarily quite where I want to be with strawberries. So after that, I did a bit more looking about and pinching a few more ideas, and I practiced by making some strawberries that were not stitched. So I've got a couple of red, in fact I've got a red velvet one, a cotton one and a wool one. So just without actually having to stitch anything up, I was practicing some of the tops that you can get on the strawberries. And a brilliant way to do it is just to go on Pinterest and look for pictures of people's finished strawberries, or to go onto Instagram and do one of the sort of hashtags and see what strawberry pin cushions look like and what they could look like. So there's that one. There's that one, which has just got a little bit of sort of broderie anglais lace on the top that I tea dyed just so it wasn't quite so bright white. And just a little really simple, excuse the fluff, really simple wool strawberry with a mother of pearl button on the top. So I practiced those, and I'd said to myself that anytime I got my sewing machine out, I was going to make a little strawberry. And as you can see, I haven't done a lot of finishing that requires a sewing machine. And then, this is probably my most successful strawberry to date, is this one. So this one is from a Blackbird Designs book that I'm going to have to put the title down the bottom because it's one that I always forget. I made this from it as well, a little stitching tray, and the idea is that the strawberry goes in it as well. So I'm going to have to put the name of it down the bottom. I want to say Mary Ann Blackburn, but it's always the one that I think it isn't. Agnes, it's Agnes somebody. I'll put the name down at the bottom because my memory, folks, my 4% got me to the end of the week. We're not quite back up to full power yet. It's only been one good night's sleep. Anyway, I've waffled on. This is not a strawberry pattern, but it's a design within that book that I thought would make a really, really nice strawberry. This one is stuffed with crushed walnut shells. These others are stuffed with fiberfill. And I think I like the crushed walnut shells. I like them a little bit more, sort of more, what do you call it? Weapon-like. So those are my strawberries that I've made to date. And I managed to finish 6, I think, in the Wimbledon. And I have got one other one that I'd finished beforehand, and I think I've got 2 or 3 from the Bristol Berries books that need finishing. So I've got about 10 strawberries altogether that need finishing at some point in time. So I'm starting to gather all my bits and bobs for those. So I wanted to show you some strawberries, even though they're not the strawberries. They're not the strawberries you were hoping for. Before I go any further, I've tried to arrange my stitching into a pile here, but this is what comes next. So 2 weeks ago, the lovely Lauren from FlossAbilities had given me this chart to give away to help celebrate my 13,000 subscribers. And the person who won this is Kate Murray 1981. So congratulations, Kate. If you can drop me an email or an Instagram message, I will get Lauren to get this out to you. Thank you to all those of you who've been in touch from last week. I will be getting in touch with you tomorrow morning when I kind of sit down and do my FlossTube admin, as it were. So what have I got to do? The buttons, I've passed on somebody's message. The last person from, I thought my brain was working again, but it clearly isn't. I passed on the last person from the Crow's Feet Stitching. So all of those giveaways that I've done last week, I will be in touch with everybody. Right, as I said, I fancied something a little bit different this week. So I knew that the Happy Halloween Stitch Along that I was gifted by the Historical Sampler Company had started, and so I wanted to get a start on that, and I did only get a little start on it. Now, it came with this bag and the threads being sort of fabulous, Halloween colours and fabulous scissors and thread drops. You saw me show it a couple of weeks ago. And so I wanted to get a start on it because I don't know if you know, the Historical Sampler Company Advent has just been released as well. So I'll put the details down for that as well. I'm going to be participating in that one. But this is where I got to. I have decided to stitch this on Murky. I had a half yard of 32 count Murky. And so I decided to switch my fabric and go onto Murky. And it really does pop on that fabric. I've purposely chosen a bit that's a bit more this colour rather than this colour, and I've got a little start on it, a little start. And then I do not know what came across me, but sometimes a whip sat in the whip box, starts shouting so loudly that you have to just go and scrabble through the whip box and you have to find it. And this is what happened with this next one. And I don't know why, but I got the inkling to stitch the Drawn Thread Welcome Winter. Now, I always get my drawn thread kits from Chris at the Nimble Thimble because they come kitted up, and they come kitted up like this, which is just enough of the dinky dyes and the other called for threads that you need to stitch the design. Now this is excellent value for money because we all know dinky dyes and NPIs, things like that, are really quite expensive to buy. And if you've got to buy 10 or 12 for a design, you could easily be over £50 with those. So she provides just enough, in fact more than enough. Most of the time I think you've got enough to stitch it twice, nearly twice. So I wanted to work on the Drawn Thread Welcome Winter. Now I started this actually in the Floss Friends retreat in Rotherham last year, about this time of year actually, I think it was. And this is where I've got to. Let me just move that out the way. This is where I've got to. So I've stitched WELCO, and then I've done the house in there. I think when I picked it up this week I had WEL. Now these actually stitch up really quite quickly, and there's a few specialty stitches in them. They're really nice if you want to try a few specialty stitches. They're stitched on a 32 count Zweigart. Is it a Zweigart actually? It might not be. Because it doesn't have the orange thing on it. Antique, well it says Antique Antique Lamb's Wool 30 count. I'm not sure it is a 30 count. It might be a 32 count, but it could be Antique Lamb's Wool. Anyway, it comes in the kit. So Chris provides a nice fabric for it. And they're just so nice. You stitch it with one thread. The silk coverage is brilliant. It's not super bright, but it's not primitive either. It's kind of just in the middle. And they stitch up really nicely. So then I had a bit of a kind of a fit of pique and took that to school, thinking that I might have just a little bit of time in the day at lunchtime. No, again, overestimating the amount of time that I might have in life this week. So I took it to school and I left it there. I left it on the desk, and I was so enjoying it that I actually went back up to my box and I found my other one, which is Welcome Christmas. Now, I actually bought this almost by accident, although it's turned out to be a happy accident. When I went to the Nimble Thimble the last time, I knew I wanted the last of the welcome patterns, and I accidentally picked up Christmas rather than winter. And when I got home, I was like, oh darn, I'd meant to pick up winter. So I phoned Chris and purchased the other one, and she sent it through to me. But it did mean I had this one just kind of hanging around as you do. So I started this one because I was so enjoying, and this one's got a needle half stuck through it. So let me just finish that, or at least put the needle somewhere where it's not going to permanently maim me. In fact, I'll take it off. It's only a tiny bit. So I started this one on maybe Wednesday night, maybe Thursday. And apart from the back stitch, I have finished 3 letters completely. So W-E-L, I'm just starting the C, which has got a star in the middle. Now, the interesting one in this one is going to be the O, because the O has got a pair of kind of Christmas socks, but they're stitched over one. So that is going to be interesting. And it also comes with all the beads and the buttons that you need for it. So that was the whole buttons and beads pack that goes with this one. I love drawn thread patterns, and I especially like getting them from the Nimble Thimble because it is just so easy and really cost effective. So I've got both of those on the go and I'm really loving stitching them. I know Christmas in July, definitely, I have really enjoyed it. Let's just put those away. Now, because I've got those out, what I thought I'd do was get the others out that I've stitched, because these are the last two that I'm stitching. I'm not sure if there's a Welcome Halloween one. There may be a Welcome Halloween one, but let me show you the others that I've stitched. So first one I stitched was Welcome Spring. Now this is framed, and unusually for me it's got glass because it normally sits above our fireplace, but I'm thinking actually about taking the glass out, resighting it, and then using this frame over and over again. The reason I can't do that with the glass in is because it's not quite deep enough, and so it has to be taped in. But if I take the glass out, then I'll be able to just use the backboard and the bendy pins on the back, and I can just recycle the same frame. So that was the Welcome Spring. And then I stitched Welcome Summer, which is beautiful. Now I changed the flag, which if I remember correctly was the Stars and Stripes, for the St George Cross, as I'm English. So I was going to go for the Union Jack, but I couldn't get it right, because the flag does have a bit of a wave in it. It's almost as if the flag's waving. So this is a mixture of things like cross stitch, straight stitch, satin stitch, and Smyrna crosses maybe. So that's the Welcome Summer, which I'm going to get framed. Well, I'm going to frame it in that frame. And then this is the Welcome Autumn one, which is beautiful colours. I just love these. I really, really do love these. And I've enjoyed, they're so relaxing to stitch. So relaxing to stitch. So that's all I've stitched this week. My mum has been stitching up a storm. She's been working on this for a couple of weeks. Now this is a previous freebie, and I'm going to put the details down below because I can't remember the name of the pattern designer. I know they've got a FlossTube as well. I'll put the details down below. This is Bird Nerd, and she's been stitching this for the last couple of weeks. Done really, really well on it. Looks fabulous. And I know a lot of people were really, really excited when this chart came out. So this, I think, it's either an 18 count or a 16 count. I can't remember if we ever decided. I think it might be an 16 count. But it's got her Modern Folk embroidery piece on the other side, which I showed a couple of weeks ago. So that's what she's been working on. She tends to only have maybe one or two things going at a time. But I love that, really do. Really love it. Right. Now, before I get into my plans and the freebie, I just wanted to show you my Stitchy kindness that I received this week. Now, you may recall me showing you this a couple of weeks ago. I purchased this on Stash Unload from Vivian. Now, you've heard me talk about Vivian before. Vivian, who's married to the lovely Trevor. And the lovely Trevor makes Vivian these beautiful boxes to mount her stitching in. And he very kindly sends me one too quite often. So I've got the lovely box for Cast a Spell for Blackbird Designs. I've got the box for Oat Tannenbaum. And I bought this, and this little box arrived in the post, and now it's a very lovely tin. I'm very partial to this tin. Thank you very much, Vivian. And inside the tin, and I should have brought the little note out, because she even commented that not very often do you get one of these sent to you in the post. But he has made and sent me the little coffin box, and it's beautifully made and distressed and perfect. He has made me the little coffin box for this piece. So it's got the backed with the scissors underneath, and then inside it's got the skeleton in the coffin. So he's made me the box for that. Isn't that just amazing? Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate these things, because this sort of thing is the sort of thing that's so hard to get hold of in the UK, the things that go with the charts. So I know he's made that specially to go with this chart. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't wait to meet Vivian and Trevor one day. I'm sure it's going to happen. I'm sure it's going to happen. Right, my plans. And I'm going to start off with the freebie, so this will help give you an idea of what my plans might be. The freebie this week, and I'll show you the chart, but you won't be able to really see it. It's called Tiny Marie Antoinette Rose Gate, and it is by Chatelaine, and I'll put a picture of it up here. Now, Chatelaine have done lots of little freebies across the years, and they don't tend to stay on their website for very long. They then go to be small purchases, things like that. Now, I've got a bit of an anniversary coming up. Well, it's birthday, but it's an anniversary for this, if you like. So when I was 40, which is nearly 5 years ago, because my birthday is next Sunday, and I'm getting to celebrate my birthday at the Big Stitch, which is quite possibly the most epic place to spend a birthday that I can imagine. So 5 years ago, as it will be next Sunday, my mum had asked me what I wanted for my 40th birthday. And I said what I wanted for my 40th birthday was a chatelaine. And I have looked at this chatelaine lots of times since. You can see the bit of dust on the box. But I have never started it. Now, I've never started it for lots of different reasons. One, I'm a little bit scared of it. There's a lot of thread, and I'll show you what the kit looks like in a minute. There's a lot of thread. The chart is a little bit odd in the fact that it was probably at the time something that we weren't used to seeing, but or certainly I wasn't used to seeing, but is now more familiar. It's on a one page. So when you use it digitally, you zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, and you can see everything really clearly. But at the time, it kind of stumped me a little bit. Or you have thousands of pages of paper for them. And the other reason I never got around starting it is because I really felt like I wanted to give it some time. I really wanted time to look at it and start it, and I just didn't feel I'd had that. And I also know it needs really stitching on a frame. Now, I stitch in hand, and so it's about finding my Q-snap frame out and using that. And the last time I used my Q-snap frame, it tore one of my stitches, and so there's a little bit of kind of anxiety around that. But I need to borrow Sherry's big girl pants, get over myself and get it started, because it's been in this box for 5 years nearly. Now, I was talking about this with Ellie Welly Stitcher, and I also know that Cat V Stitches has also been working on a chatelaine, thinking about getting a chatelaine underway. So I'm going to show you what's in this kit. The kit came from the, oh gosh, this is where I should have looked it up. European Stitch Company? I'll put the name on the bottom. You'll know who I mean. They are the sort of one of the main companies that kit up chatelaines. And I have everything because I got it before Gloriana started to be really hard to get hold of, and before some of the other threads really started to get hold of. So it's on black. Yay, what a great idea. In fact, I should probably tell you what it is. It's called Sparkling Swans, or Sparkly Swans. It does say on the fabric somewhere. Where have I put it? It's on the back. Sparkly Swan. I'll put a picture of it up. So it requires this black fabric. Black doesn't worry me. I'm happy with black fabric, so should be able to get on with that. And then it came with all the threads. So I have gone through and I have worked out, I did a proper teacher job on it. There we go. I've even still got the band, look. European Cross Stitch Company. There we are. This came tied round it. oh yeah, here's the chart, look. This is, like I say, this is what kind of confused me a little bit. I hadn't been stitching that long, so I was probably overreaching a little bit. So this is the printed chart with all the threads, and then that's the chart legend, and then that's what the chart looked like, but that's the digital one, and then just so much information, and I was just blown away, and I haven't really ever come back to it. I had the idea of sort of trying to blow up the middle bit to see if that would help. Yeah, got myself in a right pickle. I did, however, do a proper teacher job of it and print out the symbol and little cards to go in all the bags. So let's have a little look and see. We know we've got the fabric. Here is the DMC, and as I said, I've printed out the little card that goes in the floss away bag with each of the little bits of DMC. I think I'm right in saying that European Cross Stitch Company don't generally provide the DMC, you normally buy that yourself. So I've got all the DMC there. I've got all of the treasure braid. Is that what it's called? Hang on. So let me just take the packet out because it's hidden. The silk lame braid, there we go. The silk lame braid. So I've got loads and loads of packets of the silk lame braid that came in the kit. Oops. So there's dark green and light green, blue and yellow, silvery white, brown, silver, and lots of this kind of grass green and Kelly green, whatever you want to call it. So I've got that. Then I've got all the water lilies. So those are all the water lilies for it, and they're absolutely beautiful. And there's some Gloriana there as well. So those are kind of all the silks for it. And a few more there. A few more Glorianas there. It's so amazing. And then I've got all the beads as well. All of the beads, including the big fancy one that goes in the middle, seems to go in the middle. So there we go. Whoa, even going back through it, it looks a lot. However, I've got another sort of 5 years stitching under my belt now, and I think I'm ready to tackle this. So when I come back from the big stitch, this is going to be my plan. I am going to not be scared of the chatelaine anymore. Okay, hashtag don't be scared of the chatelaine. That's my plan. That's the plan. If you have got any advice about stitching chatelaines, please hit me up below in the comments. I would love to know anything that you know about stitching chatelaines. If anybody's got any really good videos about it, again, hit me up with those. And then I've got a little bit of haul. Now the first thing I'm going to show you is a little antique pin cushion that I bought and I absolutely loved. And it's this. It's a double-sided crown pin cushion. It's a little bit of worse for wear at the bottom, but I could probably put in a couple of hidden stitches and that would just hold together. But the metalwork and the work in it is absolutely beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I love that. If I remember tomorrow in the light, I'll put some more on my Instagram. I'm hoping to do a bit more with Instagram. I fail miserably most of the time with Instagram for two reasons. One, In the evening, the light's never great for taking pictures. And 2, because I stitch in hand, everything always looks like a dish rag until you iron it. Never good for taking photos for Instagram. So I bought that and I love that. And then I went to a little haberdashery sale today and the prices were excellent, so I'll show you what I got. I got a couple of sparkly knitting needles for 20p for Ness to keep her away from my knit pros. She occasionally likes to have a little go at knitting. These are 10 mils, so they'll be perfect for her. But then she eyes up my knit pro needles and yeah, so I've got her some of these sparkly ones to be going on with. I bought a whole big box of pins, entirely full, for £1 for mounting. So I'm just going to show you one. You know what a pin looks like. Let's not bother with that. Those are my mum's. I also got some buttons for the tops of the strawberries that I intend to make. I don't know if I'll use the polka dot ones, but I liked them. But I did like those. I thought they would make a good top to a big strawberry. So I got those. I also got a couple of cones of really glittery thread. They were like £1 each. So I know, metallic thread, what was I thinking? But I think I'll be all right. My plan is to mix it in with DMC as a bit of a sort of a trace of a little bit of glitter. I'll just wind that up, otherwise it'll end up in the hoover and that'll be the hoover dead. See, it's everywhere already. I bought a little bit of, another bit of metallic thread, again, just to add a mix in with some DMC. And then a couple of Madeira gold threads. One of those, they've been started, but quite frankly, I'll never use that much gold thread in my life, so it doesn't matter. And a slightly duller gold as well. So a shiny gold and a duller gold. A little finger presser for doing patchwork and applique. I still have notions that one day I will get around to doing a bit more patchwork. And I also bought, I think this is the last thing, this really nice turned pin cushion. Now the pin cushion actually comes out and it needs a little tidy up, but you've got that side there or that side there, and I think I actually prefer the kind of 70s carpet side to it. So it fits in the top there. Lovely turned wood pin cushion for £1. Can't beat that for £1, can you? Right, that's it from me. Now next week I am going to be at the Big Stitch. If you're coming to the Big Stitch, please come and say hello to me. I would love to meet you. Please give me all your names. Your real name, your Instagram name, your YouTube name, because I know some people through all different ones and it takes me a very long time to put everybody together with all 3 names. So please come and say hello and come and tell me your name and where I might know you from, what you've done. I can't wait to chat with you. I am bringing some stitching to do, but I fully expect that not much will be done. So I don't think I'm going to do a video next week. I shall do one the following week, but probably not the week after that because we'll be on holiday. We're going up to North Wales for a few days. So I think we're probably going to be week on, week off, maybe in the summer holidays. We shall see. But I'll keep in touch. Enjoy the summer holidays. Stay classy, Stitchers.